You know, sleep, it takes up a third of your entire life. But for something so fundamental, it's honestly been one of biology's biggest black boxes. So today, let's turn on the lights, because what science is uncovering about your brain on sleep, well, it's nothing short of revolutionary.
I mean, just think about that for a second. 25 years. That is a massive chunk of your life spent completely unconscious. And you know, evolution is pretty ruthless. It doesn't keep things around if they're not absolutely essential. So what on earth is so vital that it's worth a quarter of our existence? Let's find out what's really going on when we turn out the lights.
For the longest time, the story we told ourselves was super simple. Sleep was just the brain shutting down, you know, like an off switch. Well, it turns out that's not just a little wrong, it's completely wrong. Sleep is actually a hive of activity, this beautifully choreographed state that's critical for your mind and your body. And it's all run by this incredible tug of war between two powerful forces inside you.
All right, so what actually makes you feel sleepy? Well, it's basically this constant battle in your brain between two powerful systems. So let's meet the contenders, starting with the one that just keeps building and building all day long.
Okay, first up, we've got something called Process S. The easiest way to think about it is just sleep pressure. From the moment your feet hit the floor in the morning, your brain is burning energy, and that creates this chemical called adenosine. The longer you're awake, the more adenosine builds up, and the sleepier you feel. Simple as that.
But hold on, if it was just about that sleep pressure, you'd be desperate for a nap by lunchtime, right? And that's where our second player, Process C, steps onto the stage. This is your body's master 24-hour clock, and all day long, it's sending out this powerful stay awake, stay alert signal to fight back against that rising sleep pressure. And this, of course, brings us to everyone's favorite drug, caffeine. Here's the thing, caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. Nope, it's more like a clever imposter. It sneaks in and blocks the receptors that detect adenosine, so your brain is literally tricked into not feeling how tired it is. But that sleep pressure, oh, it's still building up in the background, and when that caffeine finally wears off, bam! The full weight of that sleep pressure hits you all at once.
Okay, so when that sleep pressure finally wins the fight against your internal clock and you fall asleep, your brain begins this remarkable journey. And this isn't just you flipping an off switch. Oh no, it's this incredibly structured cycle that repeats itself over and over all night long.
Believe it or not, your brain runs on a schedule. Every 90 minutes or so, it goes through this whole cycle. You start by just kind of drifting off into light sleep, then you plunge down into this really deep, restorative, slow wave sleep. After that, you actually come back up into light sleep before diving into the wild and crazy world of REM sleep. That's where most of your vivid dreaming happens. And then, the whole 90-minute cycle starts all over again. So a good way to think about this is that your sleep has two totally different modes. You've got non-REM sleep. Think of that as the body shop. It's for physical repairs, releasing growth hormone, and doing all that maintenance. Then you have REM sleep. That's for your mind. It's like nightly emotional therapy, helping you process experiences and boost creativity. You absolutely need both.
But you know, there's one job that sleep does that is wow. It's so groundbreaking, it's basically rewritten the rulebook on why we sleep, and it all starts with a really basic but really important question.
Think about it. Every other organ in your body, it has a lymphatic system, right? A dedicated waste removal crew. But your brain, the most metabolically active organ you have, is sealed off behind this thing called the blood-brain barrier. So how in the world does it clean itself? This was a huge mystery for scientists for, forever.
And then in 2012, we got the answer. It's called the glymphatic system, and it's basically a power washer for your brain. It uses cerebral spinal fluid to flush out all the toxic gunk that builds up while you're awake. But here's the absolute kicker. This deep clean cycle, it pretty much only runs when you're in the deepest stages of non-REM sleep.
And this is incredible. Just very recently, scientists figured out the how. During deep sleep, a chemical in your brain, norepinephrine, its levels start to pulse up and down. This causes the blood vessels to literally squeeze and release over and over. And this rhythmic pumping action forces that cleaning fluid deep into your brain tissue, washing everything away. It's amazing. So what kind of trash are we talking about? We're talking about toxic proteins like amyloid beta. Yep, the exact same stuff that's linked to Alzheimer's disease. And you gotta hear this, just one single night of sleep deprivation can lead to a 30% increase of this toxic protein in your brain. That really puts into perspective how important this nightly cleaning is for your long-term health.
So, look, the science is crystal clear on this now.
Sleep is so much more than just not feeling tired. It's literally about upgrading every single system in your body, every single night. Now this stat is a real eye-opener. If you've been awake for just 17 hours, your performance has declined to the point that it's equivalent to having a blood alcohol content of 0.05%. And if you pull an all-nighter, you're functionally performing as if you're legally intoxicated. That whole hustle culture thing of bragging about no sleep, it's not a badge of honor, it's a badge of impairment.
And when you do sleep, the benefits are just massive. It's what locks in your memories for the long term. It's what acts as that overnight therapy for your emotions, taking the edge off difficult experiences. It gets your appetite and stress hormones back in check. And crucially, it's when your immune system really preps for battle.
And speaking of your immune system, check this out. It's absolutely incredible. There's this study where they found that people who regularly get less than 6 hours of sleep a night were more than 4 times as likely to get sick when they were exposed to a simple cold virus. I mean, that's not a small difference, that's gigantic. So it's pretty clear we need a total mindset shift when it comes to sleep. It is not a luxury, it's a non-negotiable biological necessity. And it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of intelligence. In fact, it's probably the most powerful performance-enhancing and health-giving thing you can do.
Look, at the end of the day, sleep is your superpower. It's your biological life support system, and it's free. So the real question we should be asking ourselves isn't, how little sleep can I get away with? It should be, am I giving my brain and my body everything they actually need to truly thrive?